Hey, everybody. I am streaming today on Bending Spoons US Inc. It's a company that's been buying out a lot of online digital platforms, applications, services. And one of them is Streamyard, which is the platform that I use and many content creators use. And once I realized that, I thought, well, I'm going to put a stream together to explain the vast companies that this company is buying out over the recent years. Plus, they also have plans to buy out more in the near future, which I will also cover for you. So, with that said, I'm going to go into our deck. And yes, I title it Efficiency or Monopoly because one corporation owning many things, especially in the United States, makes you stop and think, right? Depending on what they're purchasing, are they building a monopoly? We've had that same question occur in the past as far as the medical field goes, pharmacists, pharmacies, medications, that kind of stuff. So I thought it was important for us to cover this also. And for anyone who's interested, they can always watch the replay if they can't make the live. So, excuse me. So what we have here is the Bending Spoons US Inc. Now it's specifically called Bending Spoons US Inc. Okay. Although the content creators who should be aware of this growing market change, you may already be aware of it or you may not, but I think it's interesting for all of us to be aware. So what you'll see here is the inspiration for the name. Why did they come up with Bending Spoons? Where'd that come from, right? Well, I think you all pretty much can guess. Yes, it's inspired by a scene in The Matrix where a child bends a spoon with his mind. Now, that's the founder's philosophy based on that, right? Pushing the limits and bending the rules of technology. So they're applying it to the technological world, okay? And what I've done since I am Italian, I also noticed my bending spoons pictures. Nice. But I thought I'd try my best to speak it in Italian. For those of my Italian subscribers, la ispirato de una scena di Matrix in cui un bambino piega un cucciao con la forza del pensiero, with his mind. Il nome riflette la filosofia dei fondatori, the founders, or co-founders, superare I limiti e plieri di regole della tecnologia. Like I said in English first, so you catch it, right? But I figured I'd try. We'll see what happens. So now I want to go into the company defined, l'azienda definita. Bending Spoons is headquartered in Milan, Italy, and it was founded in 2013. So just about 13 years ago. Really, right? Don't know the month, but it was founded in 2013. And there were two folks, right? Small group of folks, but two co-founded it. And the intention of the company was to operate as a software development company, but develops digital personal productivity, photo enhancement and generation, video editing, live stream, and file sharing applications. Bending Spoon US services customers worldwide. So they're based in Milan, Italy, where a lot of my family is from North Italy. And I want to reach out to my cousins to see if they ever met the co-founder here, which I'll talk about in a moment. I do have a bio on them. But I thought it would be interesting to try once again my Italian. Con sede a Milano, in Italia, ha fondato nel 2013. Questa azienda opera nel settore della sviluppo software, realizzando applicazioni per la produttività personale digitale e fotoritocco e la generazione di immagini. Il montaggio video, lo streaming live. I have to do it in an accent because they don't always have words that translate, so they use English words. E la condivisione di file or file. Bending Spoons US serves clienti in tutto il mondo, around the world. So it's fun that they have a cool title, but their growth has been really hyping up, if you will, the last couple of years. So under Luca Ferrari, who was a Bending Spoons co-founder, right, has pursued a strategy of buying established software brands that have slowed growth or need restructuring. And we know what that means. Buy them and let the heads roll, which really bothers me because I've been in that situation before for no other reason except I was told we're just reducing staff in the United States. Unacceptable. In my world, my opinion, whatever. Then integrating them into its tech and AI focused, artificial intelligence focus, once again, infrastructure. Many acquisitions involve product repositioning, cost optimization, and consolidation of technology and teams to drive efficiency and profitability. So they're started out as a software company, but now they've grown to be able to purchase a variety of digital offerings, platforms, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, they recently purchased Streamyard, which is the platform that I'm using right now. Very happy with it. It's a great tool. I'm just afraid that things are going to start changing soon, and then that'll affect the end user use, right? That's what I don't want to happen. So I won't hit you with the Italian here. I'll do some one-pagers coming up. The company as it stands today, okay? L'azienda così come le presenta oggi. So as of January 2026, Bending Spoons has an estimated 400 to 500 employees. That's it? Whom the company calls spooners. Okay. Well, in America, that we use that word for other things too. Just throwing it out there. According to recent reports, other recent estimates from late 2025 and mid 2025 provide varying figures, but they generally fall within a similar range or indicate growth. Now, I did a lot of research. I went through various sites. I used AI. I tried finding it out any way, shape I could. And they're always around that number and about 1,000. I've read that too. But that's the research I was doing, was trying to find out the total head count, including subsidiaries, right? Subsidiaries. Sorry, my Italian got in my way. So I want to know what exactly is the head count. So I did all this kinds of research, and specific employee counts provided by various sources around that time include 400 to 500 employees as of December 2025 report, approximately 330 employees worldwide as of July 2025, 323 employees as of a date point from July 2024, 706 to 708 employees in other 2025 reports, and finally, an estimation of 1,000 employees in a 2025 Wikipedia snippet. That can't be the total headcount. So, because this company is a privately owned company, they are not regulated as or required to announce the total headcount of all employees, including their subsidiaries, which is pretty vast. You'll see in a few minutes. But that's what I want to know, right? Because if you don't acknowledge I have 1,000 people running all of these platforms and software applications and services, from development all the way to customer support, it's infeasible. It's not feasible. So it's frustrating slightly to me to not know the total headcount of this company. And again, because they're private, there are certain rules and regulations that are in place and laws that they don't need to announce. I did find out that it's all right. The government allows, 100% true, that an Italian-based company can own multiple businesses in the United States of America. Okay. I'm concerned that the reverse might not be true, but I did read that it is true also. From the United States of America may own multiple companies overseas or in other parts of the world. Still makes me concerned about the people who are employed and how easily you can get rid of headcount because you never announced how many people you actually have working for the company, including the subsidiaries. So this is Italian, same thing I've just read you. The company has been in a period of active acquisitions. So that's the key word, acquisitions. How they got all the money to purchase all these, you'll see, including AOL, Vimeo, and Eventbrite in late 2025, which has involved significant restructuring and staff cuts in the acquired companies, making a precise, stable number challenging to pin down at any single moment. See, once again, you're getting rid of people without telling us who all was there first. And I'm not going to spend the time to look through your entire portfolio to research where it was before you bought them and where you are today, because I'll never find out what today looks like unless you go public. Then you're mandatory headcount. Now, there are other things like for financials and taxes, but they're privileged. So they're not out for public consumption. So somewhere there's a headcount and being reported, right? The general consensus points to a number in the hundreds, likely closer to 500 as of early 2026. So just this month. It's only January, so when you say early 2026, you're talking this month. About 500 people, employees. Sorry, spooners. It just seems pretty sketchy from my perspective. That's the same thing in Italian. For my Italian subscribers, there's no single verified figure publicly reported for employees under Bending Spoons US Inc. US, United States, that's what that stands for, including all subsidiaries. That's what we've been talking about. Estimates of the entire group's headcount, which would include US subsidiaries, and thus approximate the broader US workforce under the corporate umbrella, range roughly from 680 to 1,000 employees and plus globally per Wikipedia. You got to include the subsidiaries. Who knows how many people you actually employ from top to bottom? I hope you know, Luca. Many former employees of acquired U.S. brands were laid off or relocated. And actual current staffing levels at acquired subsidiaries like Vimeo or Evernote, Eventbrite, Evernote's another one, are not published in consolidated form post-acquisition. So they didn't even tell them how many people they had in secret, and then that gives them leeway to say, well, we don't need this many people because we have these 680 folks possibly taking over a lot of the services that's provided in that subsidiary. I don't get it. How do you do that? I'll pass on this slide. Hey there. So the modern day Bending Spoons. I have several slides. I broke them out so I can read to you what each of the acquisitions do. Back in 2018, Splice, which is leading cloud-based platform for music creation, providing musicians with vast libraries of royalty-free samples, AI-powered sound discovery tools, and a rent-to-own marketplace for popular music production plugins and software. Remini, acquired in 2021. Remini is an AI-powered photo and video editing application that uses advanced deep learning neural networks to improve the quality of low-resolution, blurry, pixelated, or damaged images and videos. So far, I haven't heard of either of these two in the United States of America here in Arizona. So I think they need to do better marketing to really get their customer base to increase. Evernote was acquired in 2022. Evernote is the company behind the popular digital note-taking and organization app Evernote used globally for capturing stories and finding information like notes, web clips, images, and audio across devices. In 2022, again, another acquired company was Filmic or Filmic. Develops professional mobile video and photo imaging apps, with most famously Filmic Pro, which gives smartphone users manual camera controls, focus, exposure, bitrate, aspect ratio, to create high quality cinematic content used in Hollywood productions and by mobile journalists. Suit includes first light and double take. Jumping to 2024, Meetup. That's a little twist, right? Meetup, a social platform for finding and joining local groups with shared interests, facilitating real-world connections through in-person and online events for hobbies, professions, or general socializing, operating on a freemium model with organizer fees and free member access for activities like tech, books, games, or fitness. So that's all occurred so far up to 2024, right? Slowly, then got multiple, and now 2024. So let me take you to the next one. And you have Streamyard in 2024, right? So just if you don't know what Streamyard is a browser-based live streaming studio that simplifies creating professional broadcasts, podcasts, and webinars for platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It allows creators to easily add guests, share screens, display branding, logos, lower thirds, show comments, and multi-stream simultaneously, making high-quality live video accessible without complex hardware. In early 2026, Streamyard merged into its parent company, Bending Spoons US Inc., for simplified operations, though the service remains the same. Okay, they merged into the name. That's why I received an email late December talking about how Bending Spoons and Streamyard merged, which then I thought, well, I thought Streamyard, did they merge? What happened? Come to find out, it was 2 years ago that they were continuing as a subsidiary, but now they're being pulled into the, I don't even want to call it a conglomerate because it's only under 1,000 folks or 1,000 plus employees. But Streamyard is now being merged into Bending Spoons. So how's that affect cost? How's that affect support? How's it affect the application in general? And headcount supporting the application. Continue on in 2024 again, Issuu. Issuu is a digital publishing platform that transforms static documents like PDFs into dynamic, interactive online publications, such as flipbooks, mobile optimized articles, social media stories, and GIFs, allowing creators and businesses to easily host, share, and monetize content across all digital channels. It's an all-in-one solution for turning content into engaging digital experiences for a global audience. I've been doing that for 15, 20 years ago, corporate-wise. WeTransfer, use this service plenty of times. It's awesome. Also acquired in 2024. So you can see there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far that companies have been acquired by Bending Spoon just in 2024. So to define WeTransfer Inc. provides a popular cloud-based platform for easily sending large files, such as photos, videos, and creative projects that are too big for email, working via simple web uploads and shareable download links for free users, with paid tiers offering more features like password protection and larger limits for businesses and professionals. It also serves the creative community with tools for collaboration, content showcase, and ad-supported inspiration, positioning itself as a hub for bringing ideas to life. Now, I like the tool. I've used it quite a bit over the years. My only concern is all this AI interaction that Luca's and the leadership at Bending Spoons are counting on or utilizing, as well as the security behind it all, right? Is the data that I transferred or sent copied, saved somewhere? Someone can get to it, subpoena it. I'm concerned, right? I've not looked into the details of it, but that's something to consider. Same thing with StreamYard. All of the when you stream, it retains a copy for you, and you can save it or delete it depending on how much space you have in the StreamYard world on your account. So, where are those going to? Next one is Bright Cove. Again, $233 million acquired in 2024. They really built up a purse of pretty pennies to buy this stuff. Defined, Bright Cove provides a cloud-based online video platform for businesses, media companies, and marketers to host, manage, stream, and monetize video content across any device with high-performance analytics and interactive features like ads, subscriptions, and live events. It offers tools for creating custom players, delivering content globally, engaging audiences with interactive elements, and driving revenue through the various monetization models. Money-based. Now, moving into 2025, just last year, for $300 million. Komoot, best way I can pronounce it. Komoot is a route planning and navigation app for outdoor activities like hiking, running, and cycling, allowing users to plan customized routes, to get turn-by-turn voice guidance, use offline maps, and share their adventures with a large community. It focuses on detailed terrain data, different surface types, road, trail, and elevation, making it popular for discovering and exploring nature easily on mobile and compatible GPS devices. Again, I have not heard of most of these except for 2 or 3 thus far. So either they're not being promoted around the globe, or I'm just not, and I'm in the field. This is stuff that's applicable to me that I would like to utilize. And I guess that's my only concern, is that once all the acquisitions are completed, what is their move forward plan? Are they going to consolidate everybody and have one total group that manages it all from top to bottom? Or will they still be subsidiaries running their own businesses, reporting to the Bending Spoon leadership? Something to think about. Yep. Vimeo 2025 for $1.2 million. Vimeo is a video hosting, sharing, and services platform for creators and businesses, offering tools to create, edit, manage, and distribute high-quality, ad-free videos with advanced features like live streaming, analytics, customizable players, and monetization options, distinguishing itself from other platforms with a focus on professional, artistic, and business-oriented video content. AOL, $1.5 million in 2025, just last year. Man, if I had a percentage of that, my life would turn around like you wouldn't believe. AOL, which I can't believe is still around, America Online, is a digital media company and web portal offering news content, email, and online services. Known for its iconic free CDs and dial-up, but now focusing on premium content like HuffPost, TechCrunch, and advertising technology under Yahoo Inc., formerly Verizon/Oath. It provides email, identity protection, technical support, and operates through owner-owned properties and third-party networks, simplifying the internet for users and brands. Again, security. There's a lot. I pray there's no breach in security anywhere here. Moving on, Eventbrite. Again, purchased in 2025 for $500 million. Eventbrite is a self-service platform for creating, promoting, selling tickets for, and managing all types of events, from small workshops to large festivals, both in-person, online, and hybrid, connecting organizers with attendees through its marketplace for discovery and registration. Organizers use it to handle ticketing, payments, and marketing and logistics, while attendees use it to find and buy tickets for local activities. So I know the competitors to this, but I've never heard of Eventbrite before. So I really hope they do a better job of marketing. Moving on here to the plans for the future. Progetti per il futuro. So here are the plans. These are the upcoming companies that they are planning to acquire, okay? They're called the 10 potential targets for vending spoons. And yes, there's a quick snapshot of all of them, but I want you to know that I have broken them out for you. So Craigslist. Craigslist operates a popular online classified platform, Craigslist.org, that connects local communities for buying and selling goods, finding jobs, housing, services, and posting local events, functioning as a digital bulletin board with a simple text-based interface. The company supports itself mainly through modest fees for certain job postings and apartment listings, while offering a broad, free-to-use platform for person-to-person exchanges, fostering local commerce and community interaction. But didn't we just see on the previous slide a similar subsidiary that was purchased? I smell a merge, and heads will roll. Staff reduction. It just looks like it to me from my experience. Another one we all may be familiar with is Yelp. Yelp connects people through local businesses, restaurants, shops, services, through user-generated reviews, ratings, photos, and business profiles, helping consumers discover and choose places while enabling businesses to increase visibility and sales via listings, deals, and advertising. Yeah, that's a big one. Remember how people would go into restaurants and then hurry up and get out and write a review on Yelp? And people would follow them and find a big deal. Their word means law. I'm like, I'll go to a restaurant myself and decide if I like the food or not, right? Could be an off night for the time they were there, but it could be an off night for me when I'm there. Or they could be a good night for me when I'm there. But I don't use Yelp for anything really, because I choose to go wherever I go and will let the owner know how I feel about their food. I think that's direct feedback, not hiding behind a website. But that's just me. It's a crowdsourced platform where users share experiences and businesses manage their presence, request quotes, book appointments, or join wait lists, making it a comprehensive local discovery tool. Sounds a lot of offerings from Yelp. Glassdoor. That's our next one. And again, these are potential targets for Vending Spoon in the coming year or two or more, right? You saw how quickly they ramped up in 2024, 2025. So I would suspect there's decisions being made this year. Glassdoor Inc. is a jobs and career community that provides workplace transparency by offering company reviews, salary reports, interview insights, and job listings, helping both job seekers make informed career decisions and employers managing their brand. With a mission to make work life better by fostering open conversations and better workplaces. Users anonymously share their experiences, creating a large database of employer insights, including CEO approval ratings, benefit details, and company culture information. That's pretty interesting. Glad it's out there, I guess. I've never used it. SoundCloud. This is another one. SoundCloud is a global audio platform for streaming, sharing, and discovering music, podcasts, and other audio content. Sounds like another subsidiary they purchased. focusing heavily on independent artists by providing tools to upload, distribute, and monetize their work, while offering listeners a vast library of unique tracks, mixes, and emerging talent with social features like comments and reposts. It acts as both a music service like Spotify and a social network for audio, helping creators build careers and connect with fans. While I'm all about the arts, right, and animal advocacy, I'll give you that. But this sounds a lot like another one that they already purchased. Following with Udemy. Udemy, from you to me, is a massive online learning platform where experts create and sell video courses on virtually any topic. I've never heard of this before. I get so frustrated when I don't know these companies. If they're doing such great jobs, why are they not marketing themselves more? From tech, including coding, IT certifications, and business to creative skills, music design, and personal development, allowing anyone to learn new skills at their own pace, often with lifetime access after a one-time purchase. It functions as a marketplace, featuring a huge library of on-demand content with instructor interfaces, user reviews, and mobile access supporting both individual learners and enterprise training, which is quite interesting when you think about it. Trustpilot. Trustpilot operates an open online review platform connecting consumers and businesses, allowing people to share experiences and businesses to build trust, improve services, and gain insight through customer feedback. Using a free model for users but offering paid services for advanced tools and analytics to companies. It functions as a universal symbol of trust, helping consumers make informed decisions while helping businesses enhance transparency and credibility through reviews, which can be displayed across the web, including on Google, says Wikipedia. Kudos to Wikipedia. I'm surprised they haven't purchased them yet, but we don't know, right? And look at this. Ding, 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 ding. Medium. Have we not heard that a lot? Excuse me. Medium Inc. operates an online publishing platform that serves as a blog host and social network for writers and readers to share and discover insightful stories, ideas, and knowledge on diverse topics, featuring a membership model and a partner program to compensate writers based on reader engagement. Clip that. Essentially, it's a place for anyone to publish, offering a clean interface without ads, connecting curious minds with compelling content and diverse voices from professionals to amateurs. We know a few folks that like to post on there. Some are bitter people. Next is Daily Motion. I thought it was Daily Mail, but no, it's Daily Motion Inc. Operates a global video streaming platform to YouTube focused on news, entertainment, music, and sports, similar to YouTube. Connecting creators with a large audience through a curated, algorithm-driven experience. It provides tools for content creation and monetization, ads, sponsorships, affiliate links, and emphasizes premium content partnerships, aiming to offer a diverse, inclusive, and more nuanced video experience for users worldwide. Never heard of them either. Now, this one I definitely never heard of. Deezer is a global audio streaming platform providing on-demand access to millions of songs, podcasts, and radio stations, allowing users to listen on various devices with features like personalized recommendations, flow, offline listening, and high-fidelity audio, also offering services for artists and businesses. They are known for being an independent player in the market, focusing on artist fairness and improving a vast library in numerous countries. Well, good for them. Once again, I live in the United States of America, state of Arizona, and I've not heard of them. Finally, I believe it's Bumble. Yep. Bumble is a social networking. We've already talked about several social networks that they've already acquired. Bumble is a social networking app primarily for dating. Primarily, but it does a lot more, but also for finding friends, BFF, and business connections, biz. Notable for requiring women to make the first move in heterosexual matches, giving them 24 hours to start the conversation before a match expires, which aims to create more respectful interactions. Users swipe right or left on profiles, and if a match occurs, the woman must initiate contact, fostering empowerment and safer connections for users looking for love, friendship, or professional networking. Notes Bumble's website and Business Insider. So I'm going to have to log into Bumble. It shouldn't be just female based, which I find very interesting. But I guess there's a need for that for safety purposes. But you would think both sexes, right, would need protection. But the way that Bumble's set up, a woman would need to respond or contact a male, right, in a heterosexual situation, not the other way around, because anything can happen. But to me, anything can happen the other way too. Look at Laura Michelle Owens. Behind the scenes of Luca. Let me share with you a little bit about the co-founder. Luca Ferrari. Here's some biographical information and his interests. He was born in 1985, making him 39 or 40 years old. He is married. Sorry, Laura. He's taken, so don't even try it. And includes his wife in his daily routines. Now, that's a partnership. From a small village in northern Italy, Settimo di Pescantina, about 900 residents. How cool is that? What a village. It's near Verona in the Veneto region, also near Milan. So it's the northern region, as you may have seen on the map. I'll show you again in a moment. Here's the Italian version. Nato nel 85, a 39-40 anni, è sposato e con la moglie nella sua attività quotidiana. I'll stop there. So here's Bending Spoons US Inc. On the left, you see the northern Italy city of village of Settimo di Pescantina. And just to the left of that is Milan. To the right of that, a little lower, is Verona in the Veneto district. And then to the right, you can see that the Settimo di Pescantina is a small village, about 900 residents. And yeah, it looks close to Milan, but that's where the headquarters are. So I would assume that he's making it home a lot to visit his town, his village. I know in European families, in Europe, families come before work. So they actually do a type of siesta every day where everybody leaves work at noon, comes back around 3 or 4, and finishes the rest of their day about 7. That way they can spend the most alert time of the day with their family and children and wives and really enjoy life. And it's a catchphrase I've been saying for a long time that in the United States of America, we live to work, and the European countries that have been around a long time work to live. They work to live. So I hope that we take that to heart, everybody. Continuing with Luca Ferrari's biographical and interest information, he holds multiple engineering master's degrees, electrical and electronics engineering from Padua. This is a University of Padua. It was founded in 1222. That's 1222. One of the oldest in the world. Isn't that crazy amazing? Padua is also where Santo Antonio is from, and he's the saint of finding things. And I hope I remembered that correctly. Sorry. One of my mom's favorites, Santo Antonio. He also has a degree from telecommunications engineering in Denmark, DTU. It was founded in 1829 by Hans Christian Ørsted, the physicist who discovered electromagnetism. So he went to some pretty interesting, smart places that you could go overseas. That's the Italian version. He also reads deeply, recommending books like Our Mathematical Universe and The Selfish Gene. Has a daily routine that includes walking his two dogs and going to the gym. He values his family as a personal support system. Ferrari has stated that when he needs perspective or calm, he looks to his wife, his dogs, and even philosophical mentors like the character Siddhartha from Hermann Hesse's novel for guidance. And I'll tell you this, my collection here, I have Snowden's book. I have several Stephen Hawkins books. I also have Bruce Christensen's book. I also have a Judge Judy book right next to Bruce Christensen, who is a wonderful writer. You may want to look into that, purchasing his book. I'm sure he's got a few more in the works too, so don't forget. Going forward, here's a little clip. Siddhartha is the central character of Hermann Hesse's novel Siddhartha, first published in 1922. The novel is a philosophical and spiritual exploration of self-discovery, and Siddhartha's journey reflects a search for enlightenment. Siddhartha is portrayed as curious and introspective, independent and determined, sensitive and perceptive, and restless. Might be an interesting read if you get a chance to check that book out. Luca Ferrari background. Bending Spoon's co-founder and CEO since 2013, Ferrari started the company in Copenhagen with a small team and a bootstrap mindset, later relocating it to Milan, Italy, which is, of course, the fashion capital of the world. And that's in my opinion, and just San Marco Square, must go see. You have to. I really recommend it. The growth strategy. Instead of typical product development from scratch, Bending Spoons pioneered acquiring underperforming, that's what they call it, underperforming digital products, improving them through technology, marketing, and AI optimization. It's an interesting concept. Let's see how long it lasts and how far it goes now that we're all catching up with the AI influence, right? Continuing on, portfolio and reach. Under his leadership, the company's portfolio includes apps and platforms like Evernote, Meetup, WeTransfer, Kaboot, Remini, and Vimeo, serving over 1 billion users globally with hundreds of millions of monthly active users. Other than WeTransfer, I don't use any of the others. I've not heard of them, so I feel bad. At least I'm not one of the billion, but I'm could be a future client, right? User. Following next is financial success. Bending Spoons has grown to a multi-billion-dollar tech platform, reporting strong revenue and significant funding rounds while remaining profitable. Well, when you don't tell us how many people work under you, including all your subsidiaries, we don't know if you're profitable or not, or if you're screwing your employees over. Do you not see how that's an issue for any of these private companies that grow so large and then may or may not go public? We'll see. He's only 39 or 40 years old, so pretty impressive. This is the efficiency versus monopoly arguments, right? Consolidation leads to focus. This is one perspective. By bringing multiple platforms under one roof, Bending Spoons can streamline development, reduce duplication, and innovate faster, reducing headcount. That's what I hear. Better user experience, unified apps and services can mean seamless integration, consistent design, and smoother performance for global users. Headcount reduction. Yeah. Economics of scale. Resources. Human resources, right? Resources. Humans are also resources in the business field, just so you know. Engineering, AI, cloud infrastructure can be used more efficiently, allowing for higher quality apps without raising costs. But if the costs go up, you just let a few more people go, right? To bring the number down. Okay. That's my opinion. As well as you really don't want to depend too much on artificial intelligence. It's way too soon. So be very careful. We've already seen a lot of trouble with AI, for example, driverless vehicles. Think of that. Now, here's the against the monopoly argument: market concentration concerns. Yeah, consolidating multiple platforms could reduce competition, right? Potentially limiting choice or innovation in the long run. It's either my way or the highway attitude or concept, right? So it does make you stop and think, especially when I just went over several companies already acquired and potentially future acquired companies that are similar, if not closely the same. What's going to happen? They're going to merge them together, reduce staff, and then you're going to move forward with one brand name or still two brand names. That guess the strong survive, the weaker perish. That's horrible. We need to look out for each other, right? Grazie, Luca. Risk of dependency. Users may become locked into a single ecosystem, which can raise ethical and regulatory questions. Yeah. Regulatory questions is something I'm concerned with already, just doing my research here. I don't dislike what they've done. That's not my point. My concern is it a monopoly underway? And we've seen that before where monopolies have grown and then the courts get involved and breaks it all up. So based on his historical information, Luca's going to walk away a very rich person with his wife and two dogs and then forget about the companies and the people and just find somewhere to read his book. I don't blame him. I'm just saying that's what I smell happening. Benny Spoon USA Inc. How do they do it? Well, I thought about this. Like, how did they grow so fast? And well, where's the knowledge base? They're young people there, right? He's only 39, 40. Go back 10 years. He was only in his late 20s. So he started with personal savings from earlier ventures and projects. So he finished schooling, probably worked during school in the summertime, worked a few ventures, like it says, and projects, and just built up his savings. Seed funding or angel investors, right? This is what Laura Michelle Owens probably counts on every day of her life. Bending Spoons began with small seed investments from angel investors and early venture capital in Italy and Europe. So they didn't reach out anywhere else, it sounds like. Bootstrapping. We heard about that earlier, right? Bootstrapping is the founders reinvested initial revenues from their first applications to fund development rather than relying entirely on outside investors. This is how they became co-founders and CEO of a company, right? They reinvested their own money into the company to keep it growing, which then leads to staying private, and they don't need to count on investors as much. And it's hard to be profitable and do well, but in this case, they've done well. And in the middle, a very typical setup looks like this. An Italian parent company owns 100% of the U.S. holding company, and the U.S. operating subsidiaries. This is exactly the structure used by many multinational companies, including tech firms. So it's a simple logic. There's a parent company who owns a holding company, LLC or incorporation, I think subsidiary, runs her own, and then operating subsidiaries. My analogy to the right, think of it like building a Lego tower. Instead of using just one type of brick, you combine multiple shapes, sizes, and colors, equity, debt, cash. Okay, it's not my analogy, but I did get it from there. To create a structure that's big, strong, and flexible. And you know I love Legos. I don't know if you do that or not, but I love Legos still. CFIUS review. It's a committee on foreign investments in the United States. So there is a committee out there that manages and watches over these corporations. And if they're on the up and up, that's great. I bet they're the ones who find out what the actual headcount is in the totality, right, for Bending Spoons and all its subsidiaries. But again, it's not mandatory to share publicly. I did find Luca Ferrari on LinkedIn. Didn't see many other platforms he's on, surprisingly, but he is on LinkedIn. And I thought, well, here's his LinkedIn ID, Profilo di Luca. So his profile, right? Luca's profile. And then Sito Web, website. Wink the app, portfolio, and bendingspoons.dk. Hacienda. Okay. So Luca Ferrari, co-founder and CEO of Bending Spoons US Inc., making it big in the business field. Don't know how many people have heard of him or is interested. I hope y'all are, because he's someone to watch out for. Now that he's impacted us via Streamyard and the upcoming Medium purchase, which may or may not go through. But once again, it sounds like a James Bond film, right? Buying up all the news networks so he can be the only network in town. That's called a monopoly. And I hope that he's doing it all legally and up and providing all the right information. Again, he's only 39, 40 years old, but he could either be a good guy or a bad guy. We just don't know. Let me share this. I do hope you enjoyed the stream. Please smash that like button if you don't mind. And I'll try this one in Italian. Spero che abbiate apprezzato la diretta streaming. Per favore, le cliccate sul pulsante mi piace. Mi piace is like. So here's just a little bit of more research I did. They are a privately owned company. There is discussions about, they don't have to disclose a lot to the public based on their status. There has been discussions about going public, okay? So here's how the reporting rules work for Bending Spoons SPA, and whether it was to report total headcount, including subsidiaries. Consolidated headcount for regulatory purposes. If Bending Spoons meets size criteria, large group thresholds for consolidations, it must prepare consolidated financial statements. Those may include a group-wide total number of employees for internal regulatory filing in Italia, but not necessarily public disclosures unless the company chooses to make them public. In other words, they might have an internal consolidation headcount and must report it to the authorities, but are not obligated to disclose it publicly in a consistent, searchable way. Public country-by-country reporting. Italy has introduced public country-by-country reporting for very large multinationals. Example, 750 million plus consolidated revenue. That would be a large company. If Bending Spoons crosses that size, it would need to publish employee figures by jurisdiction, including subsidiaries abroad. Hello, United States. But this requirement applies only if it qualifies as a large multinational under these rules. From what I've read, it sounds like they're already there, and then some, which isn't guaranteed. This is part of a new EU transparency requirements. Of course, transparency. Keyword, optics, throw that one out there. But do it. Don't just say the words, please. So even here, there's no standalone requirement that every private company must report total headcount, including subsidiaries. Only large group possibly will once these rules take effect. So the rules are not even in place yet. Okay. So current positioning for an IPO. Bet you're waiting for that one if anybody's interested in buying. Yes, going public is on the table. According to recent reporting, Bending Spoons could pursue an IPO as soon as 2026. Get your gold sold and dig out the money from the couch. This might be worth buying into. Talk to your financial advisors. Possibly in the United States, where tech valuations are generally higher. CEO Luca Ferrari said they are ready for listing and every year could be the right one, though a firm timeline hasn't been fixed yet. Could be as early as this year, could be another 5 years or longer. So the company could list in the US, not necessarily in Italy. Interesting. Strategic context behind IPO talk. Bending Spoons has been rapidly expanding via acquisitions or recognizable tech brands such as Vimeo, taken private in a $1.38 billion deal. AOL agreed to be acquired with significant debt financing backing the deal. Eventbrite agreed to be bought and taken private. They've also secured large financing rounds, including hundreds of millions in equity and over $2.8 billion in debt financing, which could help strengthen financials ahead of a potential IPO. Why did they make it part of the deal to go private? So they could do the head reductions, right? Human resource reductions. That's all I come up with off the top of my head. What this means, IPO isn't guaranteed. Statements from leadership signal intent or openness to a public listing, but no formal filing has occurred yet. I wonder what the starting price would be if they do go public. What are they willing to start at and how quickly it will go up? Like I said, dig out the coins from the couch, go through the car, check your kids' pockets, before you do laundry, do whatever you can, build up a little funding. You'd be surprised how well it will grow over the years for your children or yourselves. Listing, but no formal filing has occurred yet. Timing is speculative. Most commentary suggests 2026 or later as a plausible time frame. Well, that's freaking obvious. 2026 or later. Well, yeah, you can't go backwards. If they choose to move forward. U.S. listing likely. The company has discussed the U.S. as a preferred listing venue given market dynamics. Yeah, because you can reach a lot more people with the U.S. Summary. Bending Spoons could go public. Executives have said they are prepared and able to list. No formal IPO filing has been announced yet. And finally, an IPO might happen in the U.S. rather than Europe, per investing.com. and Reuters and Tara News. So that gives you a little bit of past history. I should just say history. The history of Bending Spoons, their meager beginnings, and then you got the current state of affairs and also what's being planned for the future, potentially. And I say we keep our eyes out on them. Check the stock market, hit the news alerts for Bending Spoons, do a search on the internet. It's all worthy. It's all worth it, okay? So with that said, I thank you all for attending. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed yourselves and learned something new today. I was grateful that I was able to put this on, and my research paid off because I learned a lot too. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow because I'll be streaming with Big Tiff Dog at about noon Mountain Standard Time or Arizona time, 2 p.m. East Coast. And Big Tiff Dog and I will be covering Laura Michelle Owens and Darcy Manu, who are both very similar in their antics against men. So Clayton's not alone in this, nor Mike, nor Greg. We have another one out there. And again, they're both in Arizona, just my luck. So anyway, join us tomorrow. It'll be quite interesting because Big Tiff brings a lot of knowledge to the table, and I bring what I bring. So take care. Talk to you later. Bye.